Welcome back to Bestie After Dark, where I tell your worst or most interesting dating, romance, and bedroom story times. Happy Valentine's Day. For better or worse, today is the day of love, where we celebrate relationships, time in the bedroom, and a little bit of romance. So, by special request, given that I am ultimately the inspiration for this series, I've been asked to share one of my own story times that it's been a long time since I told. So, the title of Your Corporate Bestie's story time is what? Oh, I don't even know what to title it. That time that I got ate out under the full moon. There we go. Okay, so this literally happened on our first date, and I would end up seeing this guy for not long, probably like 3 months, but long enough. Beyond long enough. So, basically, on our first date, he eh, he looks good. I didn't know at the time that that type of looking good was like so synonymous with being fucking insane. And I also didn't realize at the time that the tattoos that he was covered in were apparently blood runes. Our first date just happened to be like on the night of the full moon, right at one of my favorite local spots. And we had agreed to do a book exchange, which was crazy because in hindsight, he didn't read that goddamn book. Like, he just trapped me. He just pulled me in. Oh, my Hello Kitties just fell down. Say hi, girls. But yeah, so we go on our date. We do our little book exchange, cute, cute, cute. And I'm not really like expecting much of this. I just want to have fun. This is also the first person that I date after I like get separated, right? So this is like the first person that I date at all, really go out with, anything. So I also am like, I really want to get laid. God's honest truth. I'm trying to get some. So yeah, we end up going back to his place stupid. Strike one on the stupidity meter. Okay? Then we go back to his place and he just really wants to go down on me outside, but I started my period. I'm on like, and this isn't day one, I'm on like day 3 of my period. And I tell him that, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. Let's do it anyways. Bitch, what the fuck? So, yeah, we did. And after that, he was like, we're soul tied forever. Our hearts and souls are bound together. And I was like, I don't really think so. No. And then a few other things happened that led to the ultimate demise of this. One, on a date one night, he reveals to me that his body count is over 300, like well over 300. And I'm like, God damn, nobody came back for seconds? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Obviously, like, you have some kind of dysfunction or defect. Like, what's happening here? 2, I wake up one morning, he had already gone to work. I, like, slept at his place. And there's a picture on his television, like, of, like, I don't know if it was Amazon or Google Photos or whatever, but, like, the picture feed, the photo feed. And it is a picture of him and another woman. And it was, like, recent. Okay. Strike 3. Well, also, there was a half strike in there somewhere where he basically like just spontaneously introduced me to his parents. Didn't love that. Strike 3. Bro punched me in the back of the head while we were doing it. I swear to God. And I didn't even know that that was called a donkey punch until I made a video about it, and everyone was like, you have fulfilled the urban legend of the donkey punch, the almighty donkey punch. And I'm like, what in the actual fuck are you talking about? So I Googled it. I went on like Urban Dictionary or whatever, and I was like, God damn. I did get donkey punched. You're right. Okay, on to the submissions. Got a few new additions to the Bestie After Dark set. One is this ribbon pillow that says Most Delulu. And this one is supposed to say good in bed, but it actually says good ear bod. And I was gonna fix it, but it's so dumb, I'm just gonna leave it this way. But as soon as I saw the title of this first submission, I had to show you guys the Most Delulu ribbon immediately. The title of your After Dark story time is I Said One Finger. Hey Bestie, I want to let you know about an old friends with benefits of mine that wanted way more from me than I was trying to give. Me and this guy have been friends with benefits for around 10 years. Strike one. Because what do you mean 10 years? A decade? So, are you guys frenemies? Best friends of no benefit? Like, okay. Anyways, moving on. In those 10 years, he and I had done some questionable things, and there's no doubt about that. The last time I spoke to him, he and I went for a spend a night. One word, period. We get to business, and after a bit, I end up sitting on the bed while he stands on it, and I'm tonsils deep at this point. He asks for a finger up the back door, and we'd done this once or twice, so I oblige. After a few minutes, though, he gets really into it, I guess, because without a single word, he squats down and sucks up my whole fist. He what? He did what to your whole entire hand and fist? Okay. He starts squealing, and I immediately lose interest. And we stop not long after. I haven't spoken to him since 10 years down the drain over squealing like a pig because you decided to squat and suck. That's crazy. What if you got stuck like that? Wouldn't that be insane? Anyways. Okay. The title of your After Dark story time is The 2017 Toe Sucker. This is about a guy whom all my friends know as the 2017 Toe Sucker. In my freshman year of college, I worked at a shitty cafe and learned why sleeping with coworkers is a horrible idea. At first, this guy seemed fine, a stereotypical weeb, gamer boy, whatever. My first warning sign should have been when this so-called straight man told me that he would bang Deku from My Hero Academia. A 14-year-old character, and this guy was in his 20s. I'm so glad that you took the reaction straight out of my mouth because, like, that's a child, right? Let's be loud and clear on that one. He said it's legal for 13-year-olds to do that over there. Straight to prison. The feds lock him up. What the fuck? I don't think that that's how that works, but okay. Do you want to guess who was the same height as the character and had dyed green hair at the time? If you guessed me, you would be correct. Hello? I would like to report a crime, please. What the fuck? Okay, so we get into it. It's honestly mid, but I was happy to have someone who ate it from the back. Then, with zero warning and balls deep, he grabs my ankle, puts his nose right on my foot, and takes an audible whiff. I had been working a double all day long, and we went straight from work to his bed. I know that them things smelled rancid because sometimes I have to throw my work shoes outside to air out. And here comes this guy huffing and puffing into them like the big bad wolf. I'm in shock. Me too. Me the fuck too. Okay, and I'm hearing about this secondhand. I bet the fuck you are. I bet you are. I bet you are in shock. We make eye contact. Bro thinks he's onto something. He proceeds to put one of my rancid piggies in his mouth. He's really enjoying himself. I don't know if I just don't have experience with this kind of thing to tell him to knock it off, but he proceeds to lick my foot. And my feet are very ticklish, so I accidentally jerk and kick him into the balcony door that he was standing in front of. And I'm like, damn, I wanted him to knock it off, but I don't want him to get seriously injured. I kind of do a little bit. I can't lie. Dude just had the wind knocked out of him. The door had a huge crack through the glass pane where I kicked him into it. Damn, girl. He laughs it off and we continue as if this were business as usual. We dated for like a month after this, and in that time, the green dye washed out of my hair. He asked when I was gonna dye it next, and I said I was thinking of dyeing it pink. He really liked the idea of pink, and I'm like, cool, because that's my favorite color. No. Come to find out, he only wanted me to dye my hair because he was really into Belle Delphine, and he even bought me outfits that she wore so I would pretend to be her when we did it. Friend. He even went as far as to try and buy that stupid ass bathwater that she was selling and make me bathe in it, but he couldn't get it. To make you bathe in it? Now that we're talking about this, let me hold your hand. Now that we're talking about this right now this way, do you see all of the issues that I'm seeing? Yeah? Please say yes. Cuz there's like it's a few different levels and layers, right? Right? Do you see that? Apparently, to 18-year-old me, toe sucking was a negligible offense, but toe sucking while thinking of another woman was not. Thank God! Thank God! Okay, thank God. That was what made me break up with him. He then proceeded to try and say every post I made about him, or every post that I made was about him. It was not. I had moved on to bigger and more toxic fish. That's how it goes. That's how she goes. Like, until you get out of that cycle, you just find yourself in, like, more toxic situations of varying degrees. Okay. Oh, geez. The title of your After Dark story time is I've been mega disappointed by a micro PP. So this happened to me recently, and I just wanted to get it out there and off my conscience because I'm still technically friends with this guy, but we're only speaking off and on, and I have literally no one else I can tell it to. We're gonna call him Colin because that's nowhere close to his actual name. Thank you. A lot of people will send me, like, stories with their actual, like, whole government name trying to be vindictive. And I genuinely try to read these in real time as much as I can, as long as it doesn't impact like my editing time to an extreme degree, because there are times where I'll start a story and I'll get to a detail that I'm just like, no, like I have to basically delete this entire thing. I cannot publish this. Like it's usually something that's just like way too personal and like a very like vulnerable detail. You know what I mean? And so yeah, but thanks for that. Preach. Okay. We're gonna call this dude Colin. And I met Colin my first year of college. He complimented me and we kind of hit it off, kind of flirty, hanging out at school when we had our activities. I had to cut him off because of my toxic ex, which is a story time for later, and I kind of forgot about him. Come post toxic ex breakup, I remember him, and I add him back and we start chatting and hanging out and flirting once again. He took me to the movies, met my family, took me to a New Year's party, all of it. This specific interaction happened a few months ago, though. He took me home. I met his parents, who adored me. I met his dogs, his other animals that he had, and then he took me downstairs to show me his Lego collection. No hate, because it was actually very sick. He had modified Star Wars sets that lit up and made sounds and all kinds of cool shit. And as the night progressed, so did the tension building between the two of us. He's making me fold, being so flirty, and things were getting really heavy. The funny thing about the word before play, I guess you could call it, was that his mom kept coming downstairs. But luckily, his dogs came first, so we had a split second to get decent. Fast forward, we're in the guest room, our clothes are coming off, and he lays me down. He takes my hands and reaches it down into his boxers, I think. I can't remember if he even had them on or not. That boy is fast. Damn. Okay. The fuck? And he told me by name to touch his, you know. But to my surprise, there was nothing to touch, nothing to grab. He told me to jack it, and I kid you not, I could only use 2 fingers and my thumb at full mast. Now, I will say he's really good with his fingers, and that does make up for it. But anyways, he puts me into doggy, and he's having a lot of trouble getting it in. I ignore it. He starts moving, but I can't really feel anything, and I fake it for him because I'm a people pleaser. He lasts about 8 minutes. I haven't finished, and I'm still all riled up because of my birth control. He starts teasing me as he's laying down next to me, and not even 2 minutes later, he's asleep snoring. Like full on out. Like a light. I get up, I get dressed, he wakes up, he gets dressed, and he asks me where I want to sleep. I take the couch, and he goes upstairs to sleep in his room. We then had to wake up at 5 a.m. for a school thing, I can't remember what, and I only got about 3 hours of sleep max. So that's my story of disappointment. I'll submit another about my ex later because I am likely reaching your character limit. Girl. Friend. We got to get you better at establishing clear boundaries. Okay? I'm a spicy girl. What a way to start. The title of your After Dark story time is I unintentionally found out that I enjoy getting peggy. I'm a spicy girl and I like trying new things. Now, there's my ex who we'll call Chad. I decide, fuck it, let's get freaky. And I start gawking him. Well, my crazy ass decided, let's try some ass. So I did. It turns out he really enjoyed it. So then he tells me to put a finger in the forbidden starfish. Then he says, get your vibe. I say, oh, okay, he's going to make it spicy and use it on me before we go to Pound Town. No. Nuh-uh. He wants me to stick it up there. And I say, fuck it, let's try it. It turns out I loved it. It's an extremely powerful feeling. 10 out of 10, I would do it again. I bet you would love a strap. I do. I bet your freaky ass would love that. It's worth the expense for you because I just feel like you would adore it. Ah! The title of your After Dark story time is Golden Rainbow. Ah! My ex-husband was into all sorts of weird shit. It started with the love of urinating on me while we were doing it, and then also being peed on himself. Substance-fueled escapades lead to me laying on my back with my ass in the air, peeing all over myself, squatting above him, cowgirl style, peeing on his wiener, all the way up to me letting him fill me, and then fuck it out of me. Hello, I would like to report an act of deviancy. Okay, yes, I'll see you soon. Thank you. Because what? um, girl, okay. We also lived in Vegas at the time and had gone to some of the clubs because we liked to intermingle with other people. The Green Door is the name of one of them. We walked into the main room with stages and poles, and we find a fine plus size local corn start getting dug out by a guy that you can't really see. She's screaming, "Oh fuck, Gary, eat it. Eat that squirt, Gary." Only for him to stand up, grab his cowboy hat, and be an 80-year-old man who requires a cane to walk. Thanks for that. That's all the kind of information I've always wanted to know. The title of your After Dark story time is, unfortunately, straight. Weirdest shit that I'm into, you ask. My ex-boyfriend was a huge sub, and I wasn't into it at all, usually being the sub myself. I wanted to see how far I could take it, though, so one day I told him to moan in my ear, obviously, and he did without hesitation. So naturally, the next time, I asked him to moan like a woman, and he fucking did it. No questions, no complaint. He understood the assignment, and it was hilarious until he started doing it naturally without me asking. I'm not embarrassed to tell people, but I know that my family and friends would be like, girl, what the fuck do you mean by that? Yeah, I mean, just like high pitched. Okay, because I am of the mindset that I don't really like it when guys are like dead silent. I think that's kind of odd. And I think a lot of women actually feel that way. So are you seeking silence? Okay. The title of your After Dark story time is What Doesn't End You Gives You a New Fet. So, like we all know, our trauma sometimes works its way out in strange and beautiful ways. But Lord have mercy, tell me why I am into knife and pew pew play. What? Huh? Like fake stuff, honestly. But the feeling of metal from a blade, chef's kiss. It's like imagine being able to make all your hair stand up on end. I've had over 20 medically necessary surgeries, so maybe a girl is just a freak for a cold hard scalpel. I don't know, but I also enjoy wax play. Period. But the pew pew is kind of where I draw the line. Cause what? That's the thing that really made me take pause. Huh? I didn't really know that that was a thing. Title of your After Dark story time. Suckers. Bestie, the scent of lemon is so triggering. I'm baked all the time too, so I think some delicious fried food is coming. Now I'm craving something I don't feel like making, and there's only lemon water. What's a girl to do? Oh, yeah, I like sticking suckers up my nasty naughty and making them eat them in public. I dip into public restrooms to reflavor the candy. Now, why would you start this off so calm and controlled like that? Like you were just saying, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Do you have a cup of sugar? I'm hungry. I also like to fucking stick fucking lollipops up my cooter. I know you got some mean ass BV. Holy shit. The title of your After Dark story time is The Weird Thing That I'm Into. Hey bestie, I didn't think I would have a submission for you until you asked for a submission request of weird, specific things that people are into. And I thought of something that is definitely odd. Maybe weird, I don't know. I guess you get to be the judge of that. I will be. Don't worry. So, anyways, there was one night my boyfriend and I were going at it, and we were doing a self play break because sometimes we get tired from the hanky panky and need us a little break, if you will. So, I've got my wand and my phone. We'll send each other videos and stuff while playing. And mind you, I just grabbed it, so I wasn't close to a tuna sub yet. Okay. The frat man really recently, the frat man, clip that, please. Messed up sentence. Tuna sub is crazy. Recently, the frat man was like, read the words tuna sub backwards and revealed a new code for bust a nut. So that reference was insane. I opened it and happened to be watching random sensory videos that I had been watching before our session started. And it was like, do you remember how playing iTunes on the computer back in the day, it would have some weird, like, colorful patterns going that matched the music? So I'm watching this video for maybe 30 seconds and boom, O-Town. I thought it was just a fluke at first, and I decided to really feel it out. And for one thing, it ended up being a really good session. And anyways, it turns out I like to watch these sensory videos more than regular videos for this purpose. Damn, that's interesting. That's interesting. Anyways, I figured it might be in the wheelhouse for Bestie After Dark, but who knows? We'll see if I make it to an episode. Congratulations, you made it. The title of your After Dark story time is Multiple Substance Head Dating Syndrome. I slept with a guy who tried to rob a 7-Eleven for snacks and a lighter by threatening to set toilet tissue on fire, and I really didn't want to cut it off because he was handsome and great in bed. I think actually you deserve this. This is my most delusional award, and I would like to award it to you for today. Because what? And mind you, she does say the substance that he was on. It's the hard, for sure. Just cracking it up. All right. This would be the second, but not the last time I have accidentally dated a hardhead because I have raging bouts of mania, and during those times, they could and would gladly match my energy. That is a hell of a sentence. You're like, I'm so manic, the only person that can match the vibe right now is someone who literally smokes that fucking stuff. They're on that shit. That's crazy, dog. I'm settled down now with kids, and no, my husband does not know about this, and I don't think he ever will. Well, that's probably very smart of you. What's up, y'all? Sorry, you probably didn't notice, but I had to take a quick break. I went and got laid real quick. It's Valentine's Day, and the frat man is here, so... But I'm back at it. Back to recording. Yay. Okay. The title of your story time is Wet Nothingness. The title of your story time is Wet Nothingness. So, I was texting this guy out of complete boredom. He asked if I wanted to hang out, so I had him pick me up. We were just sitting in his bed watching Friends, gardening, and then he took his clothes off. And I live about an hour away. I didn't have my phone. You were fucking tripping. I didn't know him well enough to know how he would react if I said no, so I thought, might as well. Friend. That's not how consent works. Anyways, I was definitely not turned on, and I know that I was drier than the Sahara. I don't know if he spat on it or what, but it was so wet. He said he was small. I thought he was being dramatic. I didn't look at it, but bro, I didn't feel anything at all. Like, I could feel him thrusting, but I didn't feel anything inside of me. And I kid you not, he stopped and looked me dead in the eyes and asked why I wasn't moaning or making any sounds. I just said there was too much on my mind. Anyways, literally 1 minute goes by. He stops, grabs a towel, and goes to sleep. So I'm just sitting there, confused. I don't know if he finished, where he finished, or anything. I was super upset I put myself in this situation. I went and I knocked on his roommate's door and asked him for a ride home. He took me home and we gardened too, and I was telling him everything that had just happened with his roommate, and he literally put the J down and fucked me so good. I've literally never seen him again, but I think about him all of the time. And I feel gross that I did that twice, but that pretty much sums up my early 20s. Wow. Queen. What a switch up on that front. But I'm glad that you feel like you left that situation happy. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. Well, not happy, but I think you know what I mean. Could have been a very unpleasant recollection. The title of your After Dark story time is I'm still motherfucking traumatized, broham. So I had an ex I was like obsessed with, and I'd known him since I was 16 and he was 23. We had a secret situationship. Well, we were in contact on and off for about 10 years until we finally got together. Hey, let's stop early on and reestablish that 16 and 23 is not cool. That's not okay. Um, until about 10 years later, we finally got together. Now, I should probably mention was a fucking naive piece of shit back then. Well, I caught him a couple of times doing scandalous shit. Like, this dude for real got busted accidentally sending my roommate and uncle a video of him jerking it and tried to lie saying that it was a random gift from the internet. But I was a little smart and I noticed very familiar boxes in the background. Dumb. Your uncle? Your uncle as in one of your parents' brother? Y'all be having me so fucked up sometimes. Your uncle? Like, what? Uh, I digress. Well, one day I was playing Sims on his laptop, and I guess he had Discord and his Facebook logged in on the laptop as well as his phone. So I started seeing weird notifications from both, and I got nosy. And I started doing some snooping, and I found countless not safe for work role playing chats that he was part of. It was absolutely disgusting, bro. Like, that's not even the worst fucking part. I ended up going through his Facebook, and I found messages to a mutual friend of ours, and at first, nothing seemed off until my intuition was like, bitch, you better keep looking. Something is wrong here. So I kept scrolling and I found out that he had slept with my mom not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times. Your mother? I'm flabbergasted, and yet now I would like to go back to the uncle thing and know how your uncle is related to you. Because what? Your mom? But I knew shit was up because he was coming to visit me all of the time, and me and her aren't close at all, quite frankly. I can't stand her. Well, yeah, it makes sense. She was the type of mom that would fuck your boyfriend, apparently. Um, Anyways, I waited till he got home and I smacked the ever loving fucking shit out of him. Like, I knocked his glasses clean off his face. I told him I was packing up my shit and I was leaving. He's married now, and I hate to think what kind of vile, disgusting things he must have done behind her back. Your mom and uncle? Wow. The title of your After Dark story time is A Nasty Shitter. This story is not about any holes, and I do apologize in advance. However, once I was kind of sort of semi-seeing this guy. I met him at a restaurant that I worked at, and he would visit often because he was originally from out of state but was in my hometown for work. Well, when his crew decided to go home, he decided to stay and just move himself into my home uninvited, though fast forward, and I realize he's giving me the ick. I explained it's not working out, he probably needed to leave. Well, he did, and then showed back up several hours later while I was gone, and when he got back, he was completely obliterated. I came home and he had drank so much and did so much skiing of the facial area. He legit shitted all over my entire room. It somehow was all over the bed sheets wall. He went in the bathroom and it was then all over the floor in the shower. There was shit everywhere in my fucking house. The smell. This fucking smell. Holy shit. Um Obviously, I immediately told him to get the absolute fuck out. He then had an evil bitch that I always despised come pick him up from my house, and I never heard from him again. However, I was very young at that time, and now that I'm knocking 30 and I've been super fucked up before, I genuinely do not understand how one gets so fucked up that they shit all over someone's entire home. I don't either. I don't either. How did he have that much shit locked and loaded and ready to go? Like, did he shit in one area and then spread it to others? Or, like, did he just go around fucking shitting everywhere? The title of your next After Dark story time is Party Days and Unintentional. A little bit of backstory. My dad passed, and I went on a bender of partying every weekend for about 3 months straight. A lot of bad choices were made during this time. At this one party, I made out with like 4 different people, but we're really going to focus on 2 of them. I made out with this girl, we'll call her Michaela, very early in the night. This wasn't uncommon for us either, but at one point I told her that I thought that this guy, who is her cousin, was hot. She told me to tell him, and I didn't. But then she told him. He and I end up making out, and that involved us having a thing for a while romantically. Then he told me he wasn't ready for anything serious right now, and mind you, he didn't tell me this until after I had already gotten him shit for Valentine's Day. I also handwrote him 2 poems each. Oh, I also wrote him 2 poems for each day of February. He was talking about something in the future, this Saturday, which is when we would all party. But that was fine. I could handle that. And then out of nowhere, a week later, so again, before we all go to the party, he blocks me. The story doesn't end there because he then tries to do my sister. Now, we fast forward a few years and he just had a baby with his cousin that I also made out with multiple times. Now, this is a whole other story, but I realized it in my party days and afterwards, a year and a half time frame to be exact. I made my way through their entire core friend group of 5 guys unintentionally. Well, you were just getting the Infinity Stones, weren't you, sister? Including the guy that was doing his own cousin. That you also were. Okay. Period. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Actually, I tend to support the wrongs more because they're entertaining. Where was I? Whether it was we did it, we flirted, we had a talking stage. It's insane to me because they all made the first move on me. So were they like talking about me? Was it that good? The first of them being the guy whose house that we all partied at. He took my V card. I was 16 and he was almost 22. I was very out of it and I barely remember any of it. He got me sick as fuck. Hello? 911? Can you send an officer to my house? I believe that I am currently becoming the prompt outcry witness for something. Cause what? You have to understand, you are never gonna catch me being like 16 and 22. Awesome. It's not gonna happen. Absolutely the fuck not. Um, the rest ensued after that, and I'm not proud of it or giving any of them the time of day, besides that one. He was a super sweet guy, and all he did was flirt, but he took care of me when I got a little too drunk, and he always checked on me the next day. Yeah, checking on someone that you're like romantically involved with is like, it's, I thought it was common practice when they're ill. I don't know. The title of your After Dark story time is Wet Dreams. Throughout high school, I was dating this super rich guy with very Christian parents. I went to their house in the Bahamas, and my boyfriend and I were hanging out in my bed because we had separate rooms. Then, after quietly doing some stuff, he fell asleep next to me. His mom came in and told him he was not allowed to sleep in my bed, trying to kick him out, but he refused to leave. So I also start trying to kick him out so his mom wouldn't hate me. Eventually, he leaves without saying anything and goes to his room, but it turns out he had wet my bed, and not like a little bit, like a massive puddle across the whole bed, leaving me to sleep in his piss. I continued to date him for another 2 years. Oh, 2 years? That's not a little amount of time. Nice. I mean, been there, done that. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, friend. The title of your After Dark story time is The Pretender. I was in a committed relationship with a man for a little over a decade who, at the beginning of our relationship, seemed more or less normal. We didn't even get married until 7 or 8 years in. In the months leading up to our marriage, he made a lot of jokes about bringing another woman into our relationship and becoming a throuple. He always said it was just him messing around, so I didn't pay it any mind. Usually, I just laughed it off or joked back at him. Honey, I've been here. The day we got married, the plan was we were just going to have the wedding, and afterwards we were going to get a hotel by the beach. Nothing super fancy, and that was never an issue for me. For our ceremony, we wrote our own vows, and he told me he was done with them months ago. He didn't have them written, but he did have them prepared. I said mine, and when it came time for his, he was too choked up to speak. I never did get any vows from him, and this was a very meaningful thing to me. Did we marry the same person? I hope you're divorced now, honey, because what? After the ceremony, he informed me he was going to invite my maid of honor to come with us to the hotel. Huh? At first, I was like, yay, okay, cool, because she's a very good friend of mine, and we didn't get to see each other very often, so I'm excited. But when I asked him why he was deciding to do that, he said that it's because he was going to hit on her with the intention of trying to get her to sleep with us. I was flabbergasted, and I had no idea what to say. We had just gotten married like an hour earlier. I told him I had no intention of ever doing it with my best friend, and I told him that she would never either. He said, let's see, and I said, be my guest. Then me and my best friend watched as he grossly tried to sleep with her most of the night. We were not married for long after this, but in the interim, he did cheat on me with another friend of ours. Then he made a fake account pretending to be me on a dating website, trying to get bi females that would hook up with us. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I'll have you know, I always made it abundantly clear that I was not about that life. Admittedly, I did try to be more open to that kind of lifestyle for a short period of time, but it was only because we were already married by the time that I knew it was something he actually actively wanted. On multiple occasions, he brought dates home with the intention of trying to get it on with them, but was 100% unsuccessful for one reason or another. And I never got why he was like this because he had ED and couldn't even get fully up without gas station pills. We were married for about 2.5 years. Girl, I'm so glad that you are no longer married. The title of your next After Dark story time is Sleeping. My ex of 7 years was into talking to men on as me on my own Facebook. He would take pictures of me unclothed while I slept and send them to these random men along with other pictures I had taken years prior. I woke up one morning to messages from a guy that I'd never spoken to telling me how pretty my undercarriage is. I was so confused, and so was this random man. He sent me back multiple screenshots of my own pictures my ex had sent him the previous night. Apparently, he would talk to these guys, jerk it, block them, and move on. He said that he had only done it once or twice, but I checked the block list and there was well over 15 men. It was so violating and fucked up. A year after we broke up, he lost all of his teeth. Added as a side note, I'm so fucking glad this helped me leave. We had 2 young kids at the time and I hated him for years, and it was finally my perfect out. God damn, friend. Holy shit. The title of your After Dark story time is My Would Be violator's ass crack now goes up about 6 inches higher than it should. When I was 17, I was working at a small grocery chain. My manager, who was 45 at the time, was constantly trying to give me a ride home from work. I always told him no because I lived a block away and I didn't need a ride. One evening when it had snowed, I agreed, and he tried to violate me at knife point. Keep 2 things in mind here. 1, in high school, I took multiple self-defense lessons, and I was an avid weightlifter at the time. 2, he was a 4-time convicted felon, which in my state meant that he wasn't allowed to have any kind of weapons on him at all, period, ever. At some point during the struggle, I had gotten the knife from him and he got out of the car. By that time, I decided that if I ever wanted to get rid of someone, this would be my chance. So I chased this old ass man down the block and I tackled him. I decided to him in the balls from behind. I wasn't thinking clearly and I missed, getting him in the fucking ass crack. I ended up spending a couple of nights in jail. My story made the news. He's in prison now, and I'm still waiting for when he gets out. Girl, please don't make me an accomplice in that because I just read that out loud to the whole internet, okay? Thank you. The title of your After Dark story time is The Muffin Man. Hi, Mother. This is so fucked up, but please laugh. It's 2022, maybe 2023. I'm scrolling through TikTok, really drunk, and I find this scrumptious looking man. His full name is, girl, you know I can't do that. Be serious. Anyways, I find this man on TikTok and he has a silly nickname. Like, what? Okay, cool. He's cute. He's really into horror movies and he's really into Ghostface. Anyways, I spent a few months trying to holler at him. What a waste of my time and oxygen. He finally adds me on Snap and we hit it off. Come to find out, he's from Alabama, but he claims to be from Michigan. He would joke about doing it with his cousins, his brother, etc. He sounded very serious about it too. He also had this cousin that lived with him. I was on FaceTime and he told me that the cousin was shoving his dog's shit into his closet and started fist fighting with him. I hung up because no thanks and what the fuck. He calls me back, we talk, and everything goes fine. A few months later, he starts saying that he loves me and he wants to visit me, he wants to be with me. And then he starts begging me for money. He's asking me to get him food and gas, and I want to come and see you, but I don't get paid until Friday, blah, blah, blah. The regular bullshit. Come to find out, pause. I liked him at the time, so I would give him money for food and gas so that he would come and see me and hang out with me. Boo. Come to find out, he was seeing a whole different girl while talking to me the whole time. Brother, what? He couldn't even be honest and say that he was seeing someone else and didn't want anything to do with me in that way. And mind you, this woman lives in Ohio. I'm from Michigan, so fuck you, Ohio. Anyways, I literally find all of this out and I call him. I'm freaking out because he's sitting there saying that he loves me and I'm the only person he wants to be with. I tell him to never speak to me again and to have fun with his Ohio whore who knew about me. Before he could even bitch at me on my own device, I block his number and on his socials. A year goes by and I get a random text from an unknown number. Can you guess who it was? Yes, his silly ass. He no-caller IDs me, crying about some I really fucked up, and I realize that you are the perfect person for me. I really love you, and I hope you can give me another chance. I'm a sucker for pretty people, so I give him another chance. Girl! I'm a sucker for pretty people is insane. What is your problem? I need you to be for real for a second. Be serious. Honestly, this is all my fault, and I will take an L for this. You took the words straight out of my mouth. He does come and see me, and he gets me to suck it. And tell me why it smelled like old Cheese Whiz. Okay. I push past it, even though, again, it smells like crumbled up old Cheez-Its mixed all together. And we end up hooking up in his tiny ass little car by the beach. It didn't even take 4 seconds for him to finish with me on top. I was like, oh, okay. And I got off and I cleaned myself up. He decided to take me back home, and he ghosted me for a while afterwards. He hits me up, he's telling me that he loves me and all that again. We've been FaceTiming, falling asleep on the phone, nonstop snapping and texting and calling. Girl, do you want me to be so fucking real with you for a second? Like, just absolute, the truest truth as I see it? The only time that you should be acting this way is if you want something from him. Because clearly, he's doing this because he wants something from you. He is using you. You can use him back. But if you're not, this is unacceptable conduct. Flag on the play. Is he a bad person for using someone that is also not using him back and seems like kind of kind and everything? Yes. But baby, you have to break that cycle for yourself. Because what the fuck? Why do you keep entertaining this? He starts acting weird. He ghosts me again in April and May of 2025. He comes to see me one last time. He asks to use my shower, and he's really weird about it, which, cool, wash your ass. We end up hooking up one last time, and he leaves, but before I know it, I'm blocked on everything. No clue. I have no idea what I've done. Come to find out, he's been dating a whole girl from Alabama. I think that this man might just be homeless. It sounds like he just needed to take a shower. Like, that's what I'm delineating from this. And I need you to know that. Miss Girl texts me, asking about all this shit, if I knew who he was, and if I've actually met him before. She found me through his Cash App. Props to her, too. I send her all of the receipts, pictures, screenshots of our texts, FaceTime calls, everything. She's fuming. She calls me and starts to ask me more, and I tell her, I'm pretty sure I did end their relationship, but who knows? Long story short, he's a serial cheater. He used me as a scapegoat and as a personal bank. Damn. The title of your After Dark story time is Chomp Chomp. About 7 years ago, I met a guy online. We chatted for a while and ended up hooking up. While I was going down on him, he asked me to bite it, like hard, full on, as hard as I could, and I obliged. A few weeks later, I found out that his mom actually works with me. I did not like this woman, so I purposely told one of her loose-lipped minions this story so it would get back to her. I've never heard anything else about it, and I never saw his ass again. But is this a thing? I've asked other guys that I've been with, and all of them said that teeth are a big no-no. I'm genuinely curious if anyone else has had this experience. Yes, other people have had this experience 100%, because this is not my first submission of this nature that I have read. So yes, you are not alone, friend. The title of your After Dark story time is The Guy Who Never Showered. This isn't as wild as some of the stories that you've been reading, but my worst experience in dating was this guy that I was dating in high school who moved in with me because he got kicked out. Anyways, we were together for about a year, and he was my first time. He had the worst personal hygiene that I've ever seen still to this day. He would never wash his meat, and it gave me constant yeast infections and UTIs, to the point that I told him that clotrimazole killed sperm, and that's why I would use it every time that we did it. Having to lie about yeast infection and UTI treatment. You obviously, babe, no offense, you had BV too. Your shit was fucked up because what do you mean he never washed it? There was all kinds of yuck in the folds. What the fuck? There was also this one time that I was giving him top and the smell and taste was so bad that I vomited all over it. And then he didn't wash it off. Another thing he did is he would put my lingerie and he would put on my lingerie and stare at himself in the mirror and get bricked up from it. He would also beg me to get Peggy with him, and I hated it, but he was so insistent. Okay, so do we need to go back to I think I said something earlier in the episode, if I choose that story, like, hey friend, that's not how consent works. This is one of those moments. And also, it sounds like he had or has a lot of stuff going on with himself. Anyways, after a year of being together, my grandmother passed on and she fully raised me. So obviously, I'm very depressed and grieving. He moved out and back in with his parents, then broke up with me by text, saying that I was too depressed and it turned him off. Then, the same day, he asked one of my friends out. After a few months of no contact, he randomly messaged me to ask if we could both do it. Safe to say, I dodged a bullet. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Bestie After Dark. As a reminder, if you would like to get your storytime submission to me, please visit my website at ycbestie.com and click the little button that says bad to get to my submission form. If you would like to watch all of Bestie After Dark all at once, you can subscribe on my website for early access on Saturdays or visit my YouTube on Mondays. Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day.